Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the #1 sports podcast, broadcasting Sundays at 9 a.m.-ish in Sacramento, California. Sports Talk 916. Now here are your hosts, Greg Bowl and Coach Greg Barroso.
We're back. It's only been 6 months since we've had a show? At least it seems like it.
Since you've been on a show.
Yeah, it's true. That's right. You had one. I popped in last week.
Yeah.
So anyway, episode number 288 of this little shindig that we call Sports Talk 916. I'm Coach Greg. Up there, or wherever you see him, is Mr. Chief Greg Bowl. Together, we're the two-headed monsters of Greg that we call Sports Talk 916. And we got both heads of the monster back this week. So, hey, man, it's nice to be back. It's been a while. I forgot how to do this.
It is nice to be back. How are you?
Good. My voice is kind of cutting in and out on me, so I'm trying to make sure it's lubricated as much as possible.
There you go. How was your week? How was swimming? How the little kickers and swimmers and flippers?
The little dolphins did great. So the first weekend was our little conference championship, and we got second out of 5 teams and had some really good swims. And then last weekend was, for the lack of a better word, kind of a regional meet. And out of 50 teams, we took 4th place overall.
Nice.
I had a couple of kids high point. I had the highest scoring boy and the second highest scoring girl, and had some team records broken and great swims. And it was a all around good meet. It was hot as fuck both weekends. First weekend we were in Woodland all weekend.
Hunter.
Right.
Sorry.
So a weekend in 107-degree weather in Woodland is not really fun. And
Good
last
thing
week
you had a pool by you.
yeah, I jump in all the time too.
I'm sure you did.
I didn't once. So, but it was fun.
You guys are called the Dolphins, not the Whales, right?
Right, exactly. I always tell people if I got in, there'd be a helicopter circling the pool with big whale harpoons. And there's the great white whale.
That or they'd have to refill the pool, and that would really delay the.
Yeah, it would. That would suck. So, how about you? How was your last couple weeks?
It's been good. Busy. Getting ready for my Hawaii vacation.
There you go.
Super excited. Never been to Hawaii before, so looking forward to that. Just getting ready to do the family thing.
What part of Hawaii you guys going to?
We're going to Oahu.
Ooh.
So head to Oahu. First 2 days that we're there, we have 3 Spartan races to do in those 2 days, and then.
So let me do the math. So 3 in 2 days means one of those days you're doing 2.
Yeah. So Sunday or Saturday morning, we start the morning with the Beast, which is 13-ish miles.
Okay.
And Sunday morning we do the 9-mile super, and then once we finish that, we jump right back in the starting corral and run the 5-mile sprint.
That kind of seems like it's backwards. It should be the shortest one first. And
no, fuck that. Getting the big one out of the way. Big one out of the way. Plan is to kind of take that one slow, use that as like our sightseeing adventure. The location that these races is held at in Hawaii it starts with a K. I can't think of what the actual name of I don't want to mispronounce it because it makes me sound stupid, but it's the location in which it's basically like Hollywood, Hawaii. It's where they film the new reboot of Hawaii Five-0 is filmed there every week.
Oh, cool.
They filmed Jumanji there with The Rock. They filmed the new Hobbs and Shaw there. Jurassic Park was filmed on that location. The King Kong movie was filmed there. So there, and a lot of the movie props are still out there. So
cool.
There's like skeletons of like the gorillas from King Kong. There's a Triceratops skull, like a giant Triceratops skull from Jurassic Park out there. And our course actually takes us right past all of that. So we'll get to stop and take photos and do whatever we want.
So can't wait to see him.
Yeah, so the Beast is gonna be our our sightseeing, speed up a little bit for the super, and then try to run the sprint. So it should be fun. And then we're there for a week after that to take in all the sights and sounds.
Cool.
Before we get too far, though, I don't want to forget, happy birthday to my daughter, Natalie. She's 12 today.
Nice.
Happy birthday to Pablo Sandoval of the Giants. He's probably 60 because he's Dominican. And happy birthday to friend of the show, Carmine Dave.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Is Pablo going to celebrate with a Happy Meal at McDonald's or 4?
No, he's up to a Mighty Meal now. He's old enough for a Mighty Meal, so he'll get a 6-piece nugget instead of a 4, and he'll be super happy about that. Did you miss Raider Talk? No, Raider Talk is going to be coming up very, very soon. First, we're going to start off with baseball talk, not necessarily Giants talk, but I have a beef with Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Players Weekend and Major League Baseball Game of the Week bullshit. So we're going to get into that here in a second before we get into football talk. 90% of the show today is going to be football. And then we're going to move along. So because of the fact that I'm going to probably get a little bit fired up about this, I'm going to go ahead and get into stand mode.
Uh-oh. Hey, by the way, did I notice that the Crook and Kite website or page was doing a watch party for you last weekend?
I set that up.
Oh.
And I'm going to set that up again this week because those guys, for whatever reason, the admins did not approve the page to be a member of it, so I can't share. But it is what it is. Not a big deal. So over Raider Talk already, yeah, Chris. The good thing about Raider Talk is there's not going to be a lot of positives. It's going to be more like haha talk. But first, Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball, first of all, their game of the week crap that they pulled last week, and it's probably only a problem for me because of the fact that it was the Giants game, the Giants-Phillies game. But this game of the week broadcast on YouTube only is absurd. Oh, yeah. So last year they did game of the week on Thursdays, and it was always on Facebook Live, which is just as bad. I mean, not everyone has Facebook. What's up, Michael? Not everyone. Oh, Michael, I need to get a hold of you. If you were serious about wanting to do some writing for the Niners on our website, and then have you on the show every now and again, we'll talk about that soon. But not like I said, not everyone's on Facebook Live. Not everyone's on Facebook. Not everyone knows how to get to YouTube. To alienate a generation of fans, to me, is absurd. You need to have both. Like, to say it's a Facebook only or a YouTube only game. I was listening to KMBR, and there were more calls coming in the morning of that game asking how to find the game and talking about anything sports related. And I get it. Like, the radio was still there, which I'm good with because that means you get to hear, John and Dave, and then Kruko went over to the radio side. Kuiper went over to the radio side and did the whole game with Miller. And it was funny because they were talking pregame and
Kruko came in. Wasn't Kruko on there too?
He was for a little bit, but Kruko was giving Kuiper shit because he was like, I'm just going to critique you the entire game, and I'm going to text you like live feedback as you're going. He's like, so have your phone ready. And I thought that was kind of cool. But I just think the whole YouTube thing is weird to me. Like, it's a national broadcast. The broadcasters are terrible that they choose for that game. Mistaken names, like saying shit wrong facts, completely one-side bias. Like, they had it was like Joe Buck calling a Niners-Cowboys game. And you know the way that line, or a Giants game, like a Cardinals-Giants game for Joe Buck. Like, you know what side he lies on. It was just rough. But worse than that is this fucking Players Weekend bullshit.
Well, wait, before we get into that, let's talk about the Did you watch? How much of that did you watch?
The YouTube game?
YouTube game, yeah.
None of it. I went to the Rivercats game instead. I decided to live baseball over.
Okay, so I actually watched a good part of it, and it was kind of tough to find. I have a smart TV. Most people have smart TVs now, And I logged on to YouTube, and I had to search for it, but I actually found it. The play-by-play guy wasn't bad. He wasn't great. They had Sean Estes doing color with somebody else, and I'm not sure who it was. No commercials. So there was no commercials. They did a lot of canned pieces in between that were actually kind of interesting. I actually turned a little bit on it and actually enjoyed it. And the best part was, and I saw this, somebody wrote this on Facebook or Twitter, there was no Cars for Kids commercials. There was no Panda Express. There's no Panda Express commercials. There was no nothing. I mean, they literally put up a 2-minute counter for you to know how much time you had left before the next inning started. And it went really quick. I actually kind of liked it. They did some in-game interviews with Bochy that they don't normally do. I missed Kruko and Kuiper, but I really wasn't that. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it at all. So, just my 2 cents worth.
I mean, there are little extra things too. I just don't like the alienation of what was going on. Hey Chris, thanks for the share on Facebook, man. I appreciate you. That's just me. I'm just not a big fan of it. And I'm glad they only do it once in a while, and every team doesn't do it like multiple times. I guess it's good that the Giants aren't like totally up and like completely way up there, because then it doesn't make that huge of a difference. But it is what it is. And it was a day. The fact that it was a night game too, like if it were a day game, like normally the Thursday game of the week that they did on Facebook were day games.
Right.
Big deal. But the fact that they did it on a night game was a little bit odd to me. Just because like I want to go home and watch the game. Like I don't want to go try to figure out a way to pull it up on my smart TV. Like I'm not going to sit and watch it on my phone. There's a lot of different things that go along with it, but I guess it is what it is. But Players Weekend. A couple things from that. One, they got it right when it comes to the jerseys this year. I think the jerseys that they released are fantastic. They're either all white or they're all black. I posted on Sports Talk's page earlier this week. The Giants are wearing a black jersey, black number, white trim. Looks amazing. The other half of the jerseys in the league were white with white numbers and a reflective silver white trim. They look fantastic.
Okay.
Kudos to Major League Baseball for that. The nickname thing, I guess it is what it is. You're either hate it or love it. We'll go through and I'll do some quizzes for you. I have all the Players Weekend Twitter posts from all the teams pulled up. So we'll do it. But if you can right now on your computer, go to Google or ask Jeeves because you're older.
Hey now.
Type in Players Weekend Hunter Pence, because Hunter Pence essentially just changed my entire perspective on Players Weekend with his nickname. Oh wait, I used to have here it is. I have it still. I don't think I can play very much of that without getting sued. Tell me that's not amazing. Hunter Pence basically just has a emoji as his name. Fantastic.
That's funny. If
you follow us on Facebook, I'll share it right now so you guys can see it. That's simply and there's the jersey too. You can see the white version. Hunter Pence wins #Players Weekend. So there's that. Let's go through real quick. I want to do a nickname quiz for you.
So did you hear the? That is kind of funny. I just pulled it up and made it bigger. so I can actually see it. That's good. That's
Visual,
good.
bad eyes. Did I see what?
Oh, did you see that? So that they wouldn't let Dickerson have Dick as his nickname, but they let somebody else whose name is Richard have Dick on the back of his jersey.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, that's pretty stupid if you ask me.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I don't want to start with Giants because those ones are easy. Let me get back to the Twitter verse. Let's see. Do we have any of these teams that we actually give a shit about? Players Weekend ambassadors. Huh? That's stupid.
While you're looking for that, did you hear also that the Yankees and the White Sox are going to play in the Field of Dreams next year?
Yeah, that is amazing to me. I think that's awesome. So we talked about them not letting him have Dick on his jersey, but what about this guy's Brown Eye?
Brown Eye?
Max Scherzer went with Brown Eye.
Okay.
Because he has colored eyes, but that makes me think of a butthole.
As an itchy brown eye?
Right, or stinky brown eye. Let's see here. Trevor Story went with True. That's stupid. Brown-eyed CC Sabathia went with Dub. Hunter Pence wins. I don't give a shit. D. Gordon. Okay, so D. Gordon, they let him just put a lightning bolt on the back of his jersey.
See, now, I mean, where are they going to stop it at? I mean, I don't know.
Who has the best nickname? Hunter. So I don't even know why you're asking, because Hunter Pence wins. I don't care. Max Muncy went with Funky Muncy. That's kind of cool. Evan Marshall went with Forgetting Sarah. Okay. Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Jeff McNeil, I believe the Giants just got him, right? Maybe not. Different guy. He went with Flying Squirrel. Trevor Story went with True. Shane Bieber went with Not Justin. I kind of like that one.
I do like that one.
Chris Negron went with Negron James. John Carlos Stanton went with Parmesan Carlo. Okay. Hunter Pence still wins. I don't care. Like, there's nothing that's gonna. There's not a fucking brown eye. That's so terrible. Let's see what the Dodgers went with, just because it's here. I don't know any of their players by number, so this makes it really difficult. Whoever number 31 is, just put a crown on the back of his jersey, I guess, which is kind of cool.
For who's that? What team?
The Dodgers, whoever number 31 is. Kershaw went with 22. Kirsch. Kiki Alonso went with Kiki, or Hernandez went with Kiki. There's Negron James. Whoever number 68 is went with Chicken Strip. That's kind of a different one.
Carlos, I have pulled up too. So the Indians, Carlos Carrasco went with a cookie emoji.
That's kind of cool. But yeah, I like the jerseys, so they got that right. I'm just not really fond of the other one. Here, let's do a Giants quiz real quick for you, just so that you can let's see here. So Dickerson was not allowed to be Dick, so he's grandpa now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who do you think? I'll just go through them. Kevin Pillar, KP. Yastrzemski's Yaz. Duggars, Dougie. Sucks for Dougie. He's got to have that. Oh, Jock Peterson's 31. That's right. Duggar's on the 60-day with his shoulder surgery. Bochy went with Boch, obviously. Buster Posey, Humbus. Don't get it. Stupid. Go back to Buster.
So, no, somebody, I heard that. So, who was it? One of the relievers that got traded. Who was it? Anyway, I guess apparently during spring training, just was being stupid and put Hum in front of everybody's name. So that's what Buster did. They were calling him Hum, right? Bust all spring training.
That is pretty stupid.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's done. Anyways, Players Weekend, stupid. Hunter Pence wins. I might honestly I'm tempted just to go buy a Hunter Pence fucking Rangers jersey just for that reason. That is so cool.
Zach Plesac from on the Indians.
The A's had the best one last year. Player to be named later. That's kind of cool.
Zach Plesac from the Indians did a little shout out to Sacramento and went sack. I don't think that's why, but we'll make it happen.
Speaking of sack, Mauricio Dubon last night hit his first home run as a River Cup.
Oh, cool. Anthony Bass from the Mariners is T-Fish.
I really want a Hunter Pence jersey. That is so awesome.
I know, that is pretty cool.
It's pretty freaking awesome. Anyways, let's pay some bills. We're going to talk football. That's what everyone cares about. Hey guys, I'm excited to announce a new partnership with Antonio Pacheco from Folsom Lake Ford. Tony has been my go-to sales guy for a number of years, and he's come on board to bring the awesome sales buying experience to each and every one of you. All of his information is on our website at sportstalk916.com, but if you're in a hurry and you're looking for a new car, give him a call today. Antonio Pacheco, area code 530-218-7069. He will answer all of your questions in regards to the car buying experience, and he is the main guy that I trust in the Sacramento area for all of your car buying needs. Again, Antonio Pacheco, Folsom Lake Ford, 530-218-7069. All right, Dubon is hitting under 200, but his glove is looking really good. His defense is looking great. So I'll take it. Let him get acclimated. Football is back. Preseason finally kicked off. It's looking good. Looking forward to it. Preseason is here. Niners won 17-9 last night. Raiders won against the Rams. Niners beat the Cowboys. We'll get into a little bit of the game. I don't take anything out of the first preseason game. If you're a part of any Facebook group, 49er fans are ripping Nick Mullins. He started off really shaky. He looked scared. He looked skittish. He looked rusty. He shook it off. So that's one thing. But we're going to start with a couple light stories, and then we'll get into the Raider talk. So, bless you. First is Jalen Ramsey. So Jalen Ramsey did an interview with the Bussin' Boys or whatever it is podcast, and talked about some of his antics in college. Now, I wish he would have carried this over to the NFL, but obviously for other reasons he didn't. But Jalen Ramsey admitted that he used to slide into the DMs of opposing wide receivers' girlfriends' Instagrams and message them in hopes that the boyfriend, the opposing wide receivers, would find out and then would bring it up mid-game just to screw with them. I think that's fantastic. I think that's awesome. He said he stopped doing it in the NFL because obviously players are married in the NFL and he doesn't want to slide in on anybody's wife. He said someone got shot before talking about someone else's wife. So that's when it made him grow up. But to me, that's a fantastic tactic. I think that's awesome. He could switch it to like, hey, your mom. Like I slid in your mom's DM this weekend. But I thought that was great. The other story that I found to be interesting this week was Kirk Cousins. All camp has been having trouble holding on to the football. And if you know, the Vikings took Garrett Bradbury with the number 18th overall pick. He's a center, rookie center, starting his first season of his career under center behind or in front of Kirk Cousins. Cousins is having trouble holding on to the ball. It's been a topic of conversation all summer long for the Vikings and concerns with the quarterback. A story came out this week that Kirk Cousins is having trouble gripping the ball because Bradbury's ass is too sweaty. It's sweating too much, causing him to have grip issues on the football. So we talked about this before. Greg, what do you think is going to start happening at the combine when it comes to interviews with quarterbacks or centers or anything like that?
No, I think what I think it's not an interview because you're not going to ask. Well, you're going to ask him, does your ass sweat? Some of the stupid questions they already ask, I can see him ask. So exactly how much does your ass sweat? But I think even more is when they start doing the background checks and talking to the coaches and other players on the team, the first question they're going to ask their quarterbacks is, so your center, how was his blocking? Did he do a good job at calling out blocking assignments for the rest of the line? And, oh, yeah, by the way, how much is his ass sweat?
Yeah, and that's what it's not going to – that will never be a question of the center. So, like, let's say you're the center.
No.
I'm not going to go to you and be like, hey, man, I heard your ass sweats. Or how much is your ass sweat?
No.
But on the flip side of that, if I'm looking at the center for Alabama and, like, let's just say their quarterback's not good, right? Or I'm like that 49ers and I have no need for a center. Or no need for a quarterback. They have Garoppolo, they have whatever. In that interview, though, with their quarterback at the combine, because you basically talk to everybody just in case.
Right.
You're like, so you had a week shown at the 40. Your arm strength looks good. Your pocket presence is amazing. We really like your footwork. How was it working in the Big 12? Blah blah blah, blah or SEC or whatever whatever league you're in. And like, oh, good. You have all the intangibles. If you're available when we need you, we're gonna look into you. Okay, is that it? No. One more question. Your center, you were under him for 4 years. Giggity. How much does his ass sweat? Because we really need a center, and we're concerned that Garoppolo won't be able to hold on to the ball if he has to compete with ball and ass sweat. We won't tell him if you tell us the truth, but we really need to know. And it's going to be one of those, or is that going to be like on like a written questionnaire? Like they're not going to ask it in person, but it's going to be a part of the, what's the test that they have to take? The aptitude test. Oh, what the fuck's it called? The Wonderlic. Is it going to be a question? It's going to be like, add the square root of 744,000 to 6, and at the very end, it's going to be like bonus question. How bad does your center's ass sweat? It's gonna be like at the bottom for all the teams to reference. I thought that was hilarious. Like,
here's the other thing. So you get a quarterback who wears gloves all the time, and maybe he's playing in the SEC where it's warm. And hey, Greg, we noticed that you wore gloves all year, and you're not playing in cold weather. So does it help you grip the ball better? Do you get better? Does it come off your hands better, or does your center's ass just sweat so much that you got to have some protection?
Absolutely terrible. That's only one of those things where it's like, and the fact that it came out, like they could have done this so differently. The Vikings have a lot of issues to begin with. Like, I don't know why there's so much focus on this, but you don't think that there could have been some discretion on the reporting side of things to be like, hey, Kirk Cousins is having trouble holding on to the ball. Okay, you know what? It's abnormally, warmer in camp than it is. His hands are sweating. There's more moisture in the air that he's used to. It's, the balls are brand new. They're not rubbed up enough. It's camp. Like, it's going to be something we work on. Did they really have to put Bradbury, who's a rookie center, on blast like that? Like, to me, that's just, it's almost classless of the media. And it doesn't surprise me because the media is very cutthroat. And it got me clicking on the story. So, like, obviously it worked. But at some point, you got to, he's a professional. He's a grown man. Like, he'll be fine. Everyone's ass sweats. Like, it's a thing. But for it to be on a Yahoo story, a nationally released, it wasn't like, Sports Talk, insert Minnesota area code here, is reported on a little unknown podcast. It was Yahoo who ran with this story and put it out there on blast. If I went to camp because I got a day pass for the Niners and I found out that, Derwin James, like one of our wide receivers, has problems gripping the ball or problems running the 40 because his nuts chafe too much, 8 people might hear it, or 7 people right now would hear it. I'm not going to run to Yahoo and be like, hey, Derwin James has a chafing issue. You want to go ahead and run a full story on this? Like, it's just not going to happen. Oscar, some asses sweat more than others. I'm sure he's making that statement for a friend. Some asses swear more than others too. After Mexican food, my ass swears a lot more than other people's ass.
So I wonder. So in kind of crisscrossing sports a little bit. So do you think that? Do you think that if the players weekend and had nicknames on the back of their jerseys, that his wouldn't be he hate me, it would be my ass sweat?
No, it'd be Swamp Ass or Swamp.
Swamp ass. There you go.
He could just be Swamp. That would be that would be awesome.
That would be funny.
In fact, if I ever go make another jersey, I might just go with Swamp, because like seven people would understand the reference, and I think it'd be hilarious. I can't believe we're talking about fucking ass sweat on our show. We take a 2-week hiatus, and now we're talking about ass sweat.
Oh, hey, Oscar, by the way, it's National Raspberry Bombay Day. I'm not sure what the fuck that means, but
Fuck's a Bombay.
I don't know. And it's also National Sons and Daughters Day, so
Oh, happy birthday.
you got a good one. Yep.
God damn it, fucking ass sweat. That's awesome. Real quick, we'll talk about Mr. Albert Chavez. Albert Chavez of United Wholesale Lending. He is the self-appointed mortgage king. He's out there making deals happen for you to get into a home. He has a new website, teamchavez.com. He posts all of his videos, all of his information for the interest rates and the different programs, things like that you can take full advantage of. You can check him out, teamchavez.com, or give him a call, 916-230-1537. Interest rates are at all-time low. He's not an all-time low, but at a very low number right now. He's out there making deals and making you happen to get into your dream home. 916-230-1537. Once you call him and get pre-approved, you call Greg Veroza and you get yourself into a house today. Oakland Raiders. We knew it was going to be a shit show. The final season in Oakland, the stadium's is on track to open on time. Marshawn Lynch retires. John Gruden comes in last season, makes some bold proclamations, brings in Nathan Peterman, who everyone was shocked by, and then agrees to allow Hard Knocks to come into the fold. As if the Raiders needed anything else to be a distraction, they bring in Hard Knocks.
Are you watching that, by the way?
I don't have HBO.
I don't either.
Then
Apparently.
then in the offseason, they brought in Antonio Brown, signed Antonio Brown to an extension. I think Hard Knocks literally fueled the insanity that is embedded in Antonio Brown. All offseason, all you saw from him was, I'm excited to be a Raider. I'm ready to play. I'm working hard. That video of him juggling bricks in his fingertips wearing loafers was insane. Like, his training all season long, off season long, amazing. You're like, damn, the Raiders are getting a right-minded Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no.
Then he shows up to camp in a fucking hot air balloon, because, who doesn't show up in a hot air balloon? Because he's in Napa. Practices like a day, and then goes, "Oh, I can't practice anymore. My feet hurt." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, you got a foot issue." If you look at the photos of this guy's feet, it looks like he put him through a paper shredder. Turns out that he went to France, did cryotherapy there. I've done cryotherapy. They make you wear wool socks and wool gloves and a mask on your face because it's fucking cold in those chambers. Frostbite is a thing. Well, Antonio Brown decided that he's going to do cryotherapy and didn't wear the socks. Prolonged time in a chamber. Great therapeutic benefits for doing cryotherapy. In fact, I'm going to be going before Hawaii just to kind of get everything reset and good to go. This dumbass who has prided his career, based his career around the fact that he's one of the fastest guys in the NFL, amazing hands, decides, I'm not going to wear the protective glove or feet covering socks, feet coverings, those things you put on your feet in cryotherapy. I'm going to stay in the chamber longer than recommended. And now my feet hurt because they're peeling like the best way to explain it, if you haven't seen the photo, and this is the way I explained it to one of my friends the other day. When you go to the store and you buy those Grand's crescent rolls, right? You roll them out flat and they're like a perfect little thin, little sheet of dough, and then you have to individually perforate them and then roll them back up into little crescent rolls. It looks like those flattened out are peeling off the bottom of his feet. They're in perfect straight lines of just layers. And it's not like a sunburn peel. Like, this literally looks like you cut a roll of dough and it's peeling off in chunks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And, you know, then he's like, oh, well, you know, it's going to take a while. And John Gruden comes out and says, well, we're going to support him as he heals. It was a mistake, blah, blah, blah. Cool. People make mistakes all the time. You know what I mean? Like, there's freak injuries that happen all the time in football. And in fact, I just reminded myself of a segue of a photo that I have here. So let's see here. If you remember, I mentioned Antonio Brown with the frostbite from the cryotherapy machine. Jason Pierre-Paul blew his fingers off with fireworks. Brian Greasy, if I remember right, he let's see here. Well, there's a few of them. I think I don't have the answers to those questions. God damn it. Basically, it's match the injury to the player. There was a foot injury from swinging an axe in the locker room. Broken arm in a car accident caused by sliding pizza box. Sprained an ankle tripping on his dog. That was Brian Greasy. Paintball shot to the groin. Like, there's plenty. JPP Fireworks Company, best fucking fantasy football name you've ever had, TJ. So, like, injuries happen. Like, it happens all the time. Like, people get hurt doing stupid shit. So I was giving him a free pass. Then Antonio Brown decides to come out and go, you know what? I just don't want to play this year because I can't see very well in the new helmets. And I'm calling total bullshit on that, by the way, because not one other wide receiver in football has complained about the helmet. Not one of them. Antonio Brown came out and said, my Schutt airframe helmet that I've been wearing for the past 7 years is what I want to wear. I won't wear anything else. I can't see in the new helmet. I was listening to Pharrell on the bench, which I hate doing because I fucking can't stand that guy's voice. But he was talking about the helmets, and Pilgrim Manica celebrating an extra point or whatever it was.
Jeff Kent.
Yeah, there's dumb injuries everywhere.
Washing his truck.
Yeah, so Brown's wearing a helmet that hasn't been made in 10 years. He's been wearing it since like his third year in the league or second, whatever it was in the league. Like, and it was old when he started wearing it. So he's been wearing it for like 6 or 7 years. He's like, oh no, I'm not going to wear another helmet. I'm not going to wear the new ones. There's like 65 approved helmets on the list.
Yep.
You can't find one that you can see out of. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. You just don't want to play football. And then he went to a arbitrator meeting with the NFL and decided to Bumgarner on a dirt bike. He decided that he wanted to have an appeal. He wanted to appeal it. He was going to sit down in front of the NFL, who has been hit with billions and billions and billions of dollars of lawsuits that are for CTE and concussions and all this other shit. And he thinks that his one little grief with the helmet is going to get the $1 billion NFL to go, you know what? Yeah, we're going to let you use an old, out of spec, no longer made helmet that, you know, probably is going to end up killing you. Right. Yeah, we'll let you go. Like, disregard the $1 billion we're paying out every year in penalties and for people that are suing us for head injuries. I want to say it was like 50, like anywhere between 40 and 60 is what I heard.
I heard 64. I heard 64,
which is ridiculous. Yeah, and they also have 3D models, and they are custom fitted and custom made. Yep. It's ridiculous. Not to mention, Antonio Brown thinks he's smarter than the planet because he showed up. TJ just hit it. He showed up to camp with his old Steelers helmet and painted it silver and black.
Yep, I heard that.
Like, no one's gonna look at it and go, "It's got some weird bubbling to that paint." Why is the Raiders logo missing the swords? Like, what the hell is that? It's like
it looks like a kindergartner drew this.
it's plasti dipped and it's like peeling when he gets hit. He obviously needs a new helmet. His old one didn't protect his brain. Bingo, Sean's on the board. There's something wrong with him. I'm convinced that he just doesn't want to play football, or he doesn't want to play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
This is further proof that the Steelers did the right thing in not trading him where he wanted to go. And it also is further proof that the Niners dodged a huge bullet by not making a deal for Antonio Brown. Although maybe he wanted to play for San Francisco. Maybe it's a different story, but I'm not willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that he would have improved anything.
No.
I mean, across the bay.
No, it's all about him, and as soon as it was dying down about his feet a little bit, now he's got to come out with the helmet talk, and he's making this whole training camp about him, and
without a doubt of my mind, it's all about him.
And Gruden is enabling him.
Oh,
did you see what he said today?
Gruden came out to fully support him.
Yeah, said it's a personal issue. The helmet is a personal issue. His feet are an injury. We support him 100%. No, you don't support him.
No.
Knock the fuck off and start playing football.
We're paying you to be a football player on this team. You're with a new team. We need you to be in camp, getting ready.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And then on top of that, like I said, Gruden, he put himself out on an island a number of years ago talking about Nathan Peterman he's going to be a star quarterback and this and that. And then they bring him in to back up Derek Carr. He must not have looked at injury reports to see that Derek Carr has been hurt multiple times in his career the last couple seasons, because he's literally putting him in a situation where Nathan Peterman may be your backup should Derek Carr go down with an injury. And Nathan Peterman outperformed their back. I can't even think of who their backup is. Outperformed him last night. Went 6 for 9, threw a touchdown, had 6.
Is it Glennon?
Yeah, Glennon, that's right.
Yeah, the old Tampa Bay quarterback.
Yeah, and it's like all this shit, man. It's just sure Peterman had a 50-yard run and threw for a touchdown last night. Great against third-string defenses. Raider fans, you got to be a little bit worried. Al Davis is rolling over in his grave right now. Absolutely.
No, are you kidding me? Al Davis would love this because it's making people. Yeah, no, he would.
This is even beyond Al Davis.
No, he would love it. He would love it. This is what Al Davis is all about, because it's all about the Raiders.
Yeah,
and
but
making sure that people are talking about
him not to play.
Nobody's going to talk about the Raiders about how good they are. They're not going to talk about them because of personnel that they have. They're going to talk about them because of the dumb pickups they made this year and what kind of shit show it is. So it's kind of that old saying of, I say good things or bad things, just make sure you spell my name right. And that's what Al Davis was all about, is just make sure you spell the Raiders correctly. I mean,
idiot.
They signed Richie Incognito.
Oh my God!
One of the biggest idiots of the whole fucking.
They brought in Burfitt, who doesn't even get along with Antonio Brown. Oscar, since you're still on, before you leave, I have a question for you though. Obviously, Raiders moving to Vegas. Big blow to Raider fans. I know a lot of you guys are staying true and you're going to follow the team over there, and maybe you'll go see a game. How important would it be let me rephrase how I want to say this. How much would it hurt less if, amidst the move to Vegas and everything, if the Raiders decided to keep their training camp in Napa going forward, so there's still the hometown ties? You could go see the team in the summer, getting ready for the team, for the season. Maybe go in and take a couple practices in, get some autographs, etc. Would that change the feeling of losing your team to Las Vegas if they kept the local NorCal roots in training camp? Because there's a couple talks right now that the Raiders are actually looking to move out of Napa next season, and there's already other teams lining up to jump on the opportunity to move their training camp to Napa, one of them being the Dallas Cowboys. Because they don't like being in LA for training camp. They want to move up where it's a little bit cooler and whatever. Would you give Mark Davis a little bit of I don't want to say a free pass because losing your team isn't going to be anything that a free pass fixes, but would that help at all if the Raiders ultimately decided to keep their training facilities in Napa moving forward, even though they're going to be in Las Vegas? I heard that come up on the radio the other day, and I thought that was something that could help a little bit. No, they have a full facility in Napa. They have training.
No. There's a hotel. It's I can't remember what it is.
It's like a resort.
It's a hotel. It's right off the freeway. I've been there 1,000 times. So there's a hotel that they all stay in, and then behind the hotel there's an old junior high school that is no longer being used, and they've set that up. It's like a community school during the rest of the year, but during training camp, it's the Raiders facility. So they made some gates and some passages in between the hotel and the junior high school, but it's actually a junior high school that they use. And then the players all stay in the hotel. I used to work in Napa, and this time of year you'd go to sushi restaurants, and these 8'3", 400-pound black dudes are walking out with 6 things of sushi, and it's like, he's having dinner tonight.
Yeah, but according to KMBR, who obviously covers a lot of the Raiders stuff and everything, they have a lot of Raiders insider. Barman's not a Raider; he's a Niner fan. A lot of teams are already clamoring at the idea of being there, because the hotel they stay in is a nice hotel. It's better than like the Four Seasons or the Holiday Inn that people are staying at in other facilities. And while it may not be a luxury resort, they do it up well enough to where it feels like they're in a professional environment because they basically have full run of the entire place. And they have a whole junior high school. You can't beat the weather in Napa this time of year. There's a lot of things to do for the team building. There's a lot of things to do, for the team to kind of mend, because that's what you want a lot of the offseason stuff to be. So it'll be interesting. Oscar, good question about training camp. It's next to a hotel in middle school. I'm okay if they go or stay. I'll support them, but will not go to a game in Vegas unless someone pays for my flight ticket and hotel. At least you're honest. I mean, at least you're consistent, because a lot of Raider fans are like, oh, Raider Nation, Raiders like, oh, they're leaving until this season, and then I'm done with them. It's like, well, you're not Raider Nation for life if you're looking to dip out already. So I don't know. I as much as I don't like the Raiders, I still feel bad. Like I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like I feel bad for the good Raider fan that went through all this bullshit for so many years, only for Mark Davis to be like, oh, by the way, deuces, like I'm out. But and then again, I also don't think that Mark Davis is going to do the right thing and stay. He's going to cut as many ties as possible with Northern California.
It's actually just to clarify, it's the Napa Marriott that they stay at, and it's Ridgeview Junior High School, I think is what it is.
Nice. 49ers. 49ers looked decent yesterday. You can tell that they're holding back the playbook. They're not releasing the whole playbook. Garoppolo did not play. Sherman didn't play. Breida, McKinnon, Coleman didn't play. A lot of the players were held out of this game. Mullins played the whole first half, Beathard the second half. The offense looks okay. The wide receivers look decent. Bourne dropped a fucking ball that hit him right in the stomach, which was disappointing. But there's a lot of positives, I guess, coming out of the game yesterday against the Raiders or against the Cowboys. Garoppolo better be back and healthy and ready to go, because Nick Mullins and Beathard is not leading this team anywhere.
No.
Bright spot game.
If Garoppolo gets hurt again this year, doesn't make it through the season, is he a bust?
A bust? No, because he wasn't. I don't think he was touted as the next Tom Brady. Like, he's trying to earn that. But if Garoppolo goes down this year, we will have a new 49er quarterback next year, because they will cut Jimmy Garoppolo. it becomes a very team-friendly deal after this season, and they can cut him for barely any salary cap hit and go a different direction. So this is a make-or-break season for Garoppolo. Yeah, Trent Taylor's out 4 to 6 weeks. He went through all of camp so far. John Lynch was on the broadcast last night, said that he broke practice on Thursday. He was the last catch for a touchdown in practice from Garoppolo. This is Trent Taylor. Went to the training room to get his post-practice checkup, basically. Determined his foot was broken. He's been bothering him all, been running around on it, no problem. Out 4 to 6 weeks. Luckily, Jalen Hurd looks amazing. Former running back, you can tell there was that slant across the middle where he caught that ball and just plowed through the DB into the end zone. Really good to see. For 6'3", 220, he doesn't look that big, but you could tell he's built like a brick shit house. Dude is strong. Dude is fast. Deebo Samuel looked good. Anyone see the injury? Sean Coleman. So Coleman's the left tackle. They're calling it a sprain from what I saw last night. I think they're doing MRIs and stuff today. One of the other linemen fell into him and he got carted off. I hope it was just a precautionary cart off. I'm not exactly sure. I'll see if I can find more information on it later. But definitely not a good thing because the only other guy that they were talking about that possibly could fill in for him at left tackle as a swing guard has never played the left side of the line in his entire life. So that's not good. Deebo Samuel, like I said, looked good. He had a couple really strong catches. One that Beathard threw way short, basically hit the Cowboys defender in the back. Deebo was able to jump up, grab it off his back, and pull it back over his head and secure it before hitting the ground. Really strong hands, really good vertical. I think the Niners have two really good up-and-coming wide receivers that are going to anchor this core for some time. Taylor
don't let Sammy Spearman hear you say core. He doesn't like that.
Oh, yeah, he hates – even though ESPN ranked the Kings as the top young core in the league.
Right.
Niner Nation says it's dislocated and will miss months. Great.
Yeah.
The boot was not good. The fact that they booted it right away definitely was pretty bad. Otherwise, I mean, the Niners D, the second stringers looked decent. They had a couple goal line stands. They had some really good 3-and-outs against the Cowboys. They had some trouble tackling in the open field, which is a little bit of a worry. But again, it's the second and third stringer guys that I saw missing tackles. One thing that I like, and it's kind of corny to be excited about it, but I think it kind of goes along with the perception that this team wants to have is middle of the second quarter, the defense forces a 3-and-out, and Robert Saleh, our defensive coordinator, is damn near at the hash marks on the field, high-fiving and chest bumping his guys. Like, if he's this fired up in the first preseason game, to me, that says a lot about this defense because he's ready for him to go, and he's going to get those guys going. Yeah. So that's good. I can't say the same for Shanahan. He seemed bored the whole game. I don't know if he's just over-analyzing everything and just trying to make sure that he's getting all of his P's and Q's marked, or P's and Q's marked. I'll just shut up. Making sure he's getting all of his intel proper. So that's hard to say, but seeing Salah that fired up was a fucking penalties were. I mean, you expect penalties in a preseason game, but yeah, it was like I think it was 40 penalties for like 780,000 yards last night. Like I think the Cowboys went up and down the field 40 times just on penalties alone.
That was every game though. I watched the first part of. I had a game. I watched a little bit of the Rams game, and I think the first 12 plays, there were 7 or 8 penalties. It was ridiculous.
Well, I watched the end of what game did I watch last week? I watched the end of.
Well, last week it must have been the Hall of Fame game. So
it was the Hall of Fame game. Who played the Hall of Fame game?
Denver and who?
Whoever it was. I watched the final drive. Whoever was losing was trying to come back to win that game. And it was like false start. I saw that too. It was false starts, and it's like, good Lord. 18 penalties for the Niners. Dallas had 5. So that tells you something about the younger guys. They're not truly ready to go, but I think that'll turn around. It's preseason.
Denver and Atlanta.
That's who it was. And it was Atlanta that was like false start.
Yeah.
Because who was their backup quarterback that had to come back into the game?
Case Keenum, was it?
Matt Schaub. So Schaub he comes in, plays like the second quarter, halftime comes out in street clothes. Third string quarterback goes down with an injury. Schaub has to run back to the locker room, suit back up, and come back into the game to finish the game out because he was already done. This poor dude, he's like out there with like fifth string linemen, and they had a chance to win the game. They're at like the 45. They're at like Denver's 45 with like a minute to go with a timeout. And before he could get a snap off, they were at their own 30. It was just like they were just walking backwards, and then they had to burn a timeout because of a bad snap. And I just felt bad for him at that point. I was like, fuck, just take a knee. Just, I don't care if it's first down, just fucking kneel down. Right. So that's one of those things where it's like, what the hell? It's like we said, it's preseason. It's going to get better. I am kind of excited about the fact that, football is back. We have our fantasy draft coming up. It should be a good one.
Yeah.
So anything else you wanted to talk about? We do have our fantasy draft. I do have possibly one spot open for a listener to join us. The draft is going to be, what did I say, September 1st?
I think so, yeah.
I'm pulling up my calendar right now. September 1st. Yeah, so it's the last Sunday before the league starts. We have a did I say 4 o'clock? 4:30?
I think you did, yeah. I think it's 4.
Or 4:30.
Here, I got it. I got it right here. Hold on. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock, Buffalo Wild Wings, Citrus Heights. Even if you're not in the league, you're more than welcome to come and hang out and kick it with us.
And come watch Greg and I draft, and then when you go to your draft, know who not to draft.
Yeah, take the opposite. Antonio Brown. Fuck, hold on. Where's my soundboard? Where is it? There we go. Antonio Brown threatens NFL with liability if he's injured wearing a new helmet.
Huh?
Yeah. After nearly a week of silence from Brown's side regarding bizarre circumstances that have kept him from practicing, presumably someone with his legal team, is taking a blue streak. An unnamed source has leaked an intriguing nugget regarding an argument made during Friday's grievance hearing regarding Brown's refusal to swap his outdated helmet for a new model. Brian Kaplan of The Athletic reports that Brown's case included a warning that if Brown suffered a head injury in a helmet that he is compelled to wear, he would hold the league liable. The source also provided this quote to Kaplan: "I think it'll be interesting if the NFL forces Antonio to wear a different helmet. And if he does play and he doesn't retire, as some people have reported he will do, and then he suffers a really severe injury, I'd hate to be the NFL because now you forced him into wearing a different type of helmet. And I think that point, though, the liability will be dramatic." And then the article says, it won't be. There's no liability. The NFL and the NFL Players Association have worked closely together to devise safety rules aimed at approving certain helmets and disqualifying certain others. The entire goal is to ensure players have the safest possible equipment while playing. Moreover, there can be no liability without compelling proof of causation. How would Brown show that an injury for which he attempted to hold the league liable wouldn't have happened to his old helmet? Brown would be required through his own testimony, which would be subject to rigorous cross-examination, and the testimony of qualified experts to show that the only reason the injury happened was because he was required to wear one of the helmets approved by the NFL and the NFLPA and was prevented from wearing his outdated helmet of choice. Also, Brown likely would have no ability to sue the NFL in court. Any relief against the league would be restricted to the procedures contained in the CBA. While he could sue the PA for breach of its duty of fair representation, that's very highly legal bar for a union member to clear. Ultimately, no one is forcing Brown to play football. If he wants to retire, he can retire. If he wants to play in the NFL, he has to use the approved helmets. If he wants to play football in his old helmet, he can go to the XFL. Hell yes. Bring him over, baby. The bluster leaked by his legal team changes none of that and likely won't do much, if anything, to win the day in court on public opinion, because no one will be shedding tears for a guy who simply wants to keep having it his way in any and all circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. Me.
I still have Sean's post up on the video on Facebook Live. He obviously needs a new helmet. His old one obviously didn't protect his brain. And James said clearly he already has brain damage. That's so ridiculous, man. Yeah, James hit it on the head. If he wants to wear his old helmet, he needs to sign a lifetime waiver against head injuries that doesn't allow them to block him.
Yeah.
Man, what a joke. I feel even more so to feel bad about for the Raiders, man.
No, are you kidding me?
I mean, because they have to
great. This is great. We're actually talking about the Raiders. It's somewhat interesting. And again, Al Davis would be loving this stuff.
Like I said, I think this is even beyond Al Davis. Albert Davis. He hasn't been the same since the Burfitt hit. Exactly. Now they're teammates. God, what a joke, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I have. I
got one more thing.
Go for it. Let's go.
So, and this is something that we've never talked about on this show. I am now a fan of the WNBA. Because
of the fight last night?
Oh, yeah. Did you see that?
I didn't, but I saw Brittany Griner and someone else was the ones ejected.
Brittany Griner, if you Google it, it shows the whole video. Brittany Griner is a fucking beast. They almost tackled her to keep her from going after somebody. It was great. The WNBA is here to stay. It's now a legit sport. They have great fights. And who doesn't want to see a good girl fight? I mean, are you kidding me? If they could do that every week, that would be awesome. I'd actually watch to say, okay, third quarter, 4:43 left in the third quarter.
Was involved in it too.
What's that?
Diana Taurasi was involved in it too. Oh shit! Do you guys get the audio? Can you hear that?
Oh yeah, she came off the bench. She was in street clothes.
Can you hear the audio on my computer?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like.
Okay, anyways, Alicia Gray from behind the line.
I'm gonna mute it because I don't want to get.
Now we got Brittany Griner going after.
I don't want to get in trouble for.
There you go. Can't hear it.
Brittany Griner chased that girl straight down the court. The ref was holding her back. The ref's like at her armpit.
All right.
Now, do they actually get into it, or do they just all yell at each other?
No, they just all yell at each other. But I mean, that is the one way the WNBA is going to become a bona fide sport in this country is if they allow girl fights.
Hockey, they got to drop their earrings and go at it.
That's right. Go for it. I mean, any guy that's ever been to a bar and seen two girls fighting knows exactly how cool that is. And if you start throwing in 6'8" women, throwing haymakers at each other, I mean, what the ratings would go through the roof.
That's crazy. I think Sean is saying that you need a new helmet too, since you're saying the WNBA is here to stay. Man, that's crazy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jim Rome will be all over this tomorrow.
It's gonna be awesome. Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about? WWE SummerSlam is today. I know you don't give two shits about that, but Wrestling Talk 916, their new podcast that's coming out on the Sports Talk 916 network, does. So if you're a WWE fan, AEW fan, a wrestling fan of any sort, be able to check it out. We have that coming out soon.
Yeah.
SummerSlam Day is here, which means
Brock Lesnar
is going to be defending his title against Seth Rollins today. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nope, I'm good.
They got to throw shoes too. Oh, that'd be fantastic. They just start throwing fuck. That'd be great.
See, I tell you, every guy in the country would start watching WNBA basketball if they let them fight.
I don't know that I would. I don't know.
Yes, you would. you'd be on that like stink on shit. If you knew that Leslie or Brittany Griner was going to go after somebody every game and start throwing haymakers, and they'd let it go they'd be like hockey, just like hockey. So somebody falls down, they're going to just let them go at it. That's the way you make.
Said I've been consistent with this about the WNBA for a long time, and the reason that I do watch the WNBA is because sometimes I need a break from the ISO one-on-one bullshit that the NBA has become. And if I want to see like true basketball fundamentals, ball movement, true team defense, I'll turn on a WNBA game because that's what you get. You get real basketball. You don't get what the NBA is anymore. So I'll always have that reason. But yeah, if they throw fighting in, I might watch like more than 15 minutes of a game. That's for damn sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Hey, one other thing, getting back to football. Did you watch Sports Center this morning at all?
I did not.
So kind of pissed me off. They showed the highlights of the Niner game, and they showed about 10 or probably about 5 plays, all Dallas. They didn't even show a offensive play that the Niners did. They didn't talk anything about the Niners. It was all Dallas. And it's like, really? You're going to do that? Change their name to the ESPN Cowboys.
Again, it's preseason. I take nothing of it. I mean, it. And there were some Niner highlights, but there really wasn't a lot to be like, oh my God, look at these highlights.
Yeah, but the highlights they showed were, 3-yard up the middle, incomplete pass. It were stupid.
Do they need to get off your lawn too, you old fuck? Let them go.
Yeah, right. Right? I think we need to have a petition.
Right. Sign a petition.
Hi, this is Mike.
I'm going to start calling you Barn Bomb. You mean the Dak clips? Yeah, they showed like three clips of Dak Prescott who played like 6 minutes and then left.
Right. Against the Santa Clara Niners.
Fuck. One last thing before we go. The Sacramento Kings, we mentioned a little bit earlier that ESPN ranked the Kings young core as the top core in the NBA. Top young core in the NBA, which I think is nice to see that they're finally getting recognition. And Team USA, when they open up play this summer in a couple weeks, will be represented with 3 Sacramento Kings players on the roster. Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox, and Marvin Bagley. Barnes has been on it since day one. Fox impressed everybody in camp and got promoted. And then Bagley and one other player were doing so well in camp that they decided to bring him up for one practice. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and by the way, you guys are on the team. Yeah. So the Kings are being well represented for Team USA, which I think is great. It's going to give them, especially Bagley, it's going to give them a lot of versatility going into next season because it's a different style of basketball. It's going to create ability for him to adapt and make changes to his game. And I think ultimately it's going to make him better. It's showing Fox's work ethic and ability to continue to grow, which I think is great. And it makes me really excited for what's upcoming. And then also the NBA season full schedule should be announced tomorrow for those of you that are curious about where the Kings rank. Rumor has it, based on what Oscar sources are telling him, that the Kings will open the season in Phoenix, and their first home game will be against the Portland Trailblazers at Golden One Center in the first week of the season. So we'll see if that comes true or not, but the Kings will be opened up in Phoenix, and then their first game will be a couple days later at Golden One against the Portland Trailblazers. Full schedule is released tomorrow, and that's pretty much it. So this week we will see if we can get you in as a host on the show, so that maybe you and James can do a show next week.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You and TJ can do a show. We'll do a test run before I leave for Hawaii. I leave Friday. I won't be able to even pop in on Sunday morning because I'll be out on the course. So good luck. We'll make sure it works. And we'll go from there. But the following week, the 25th of August, we should be able to do a show as long as I'm not dead from travel. If not, you'll do it again, hopefully, and then we'll move on from there. And then the following weekend, we will have our draft party at Buffalo Wild Wings in Citrus Heights. So,
and we'll do a show before the draft, won't we?
Yeah, we'll do one that morning.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's pretty much what I have for you. For Greg Veroza, I'm Greg Bull. This was episode 288 of Sports Talk 916, and we will see you guys later.